This was an insane ride. Oshinoko premiere dropped today and it was an entire movie with a runtime of 1 hour and 20 minutes, so we have a lot to go over here. If you haven't watched it already, I highly recommend you do. It's streaming on High Dive now, animated by Doga Kobo, the people behind My Senpai's Annoying, Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun, and much more. We are in for a treat as they spared no expense on this one. I came into this blind and I'm so glad I gave this a chance, so don't let the movie length runtime scare you as it's incredibly worth it. Let's get into Oshinoko. We start with Goro, our idol-obsessed doctor, as he plays the DVD in a patient's room, and he raves on about the idol group. Just look at the patient, too polite to say, yo, get out. Apparently this has to keep Twitter in this anime, which I'm surprised at that they didn't change one letter to make the name funny, but we have his assistant throwing jabs at him, calling him a lolly. We learn about Goro's inspiration as to why he likes the idol so much. 3 minutes in and they already play with your heartstrings, as we see a 6 patient in love with Ai, an incredibly beautiful idol. She got dolls, stickers, posters, all of it. They have a quick discussion on being reborn, as Sarina would love to be a child of the idol. Goro here doesn't want to hear this reborn talk, since I can only assume as her doctor, he wants her to live, even saying she is cute as she already is. She does ask if they would go out if she was 16, which he says he'll consider it when she is 16. Sir, no. We don't even get the opportunity to delve deeper into this, as she doesn't make it to 16, passing away at the age of 12. Pain. So he follows Ai for Sarina, although that's just what he says. He is a fan through and through now, as even the assistant knows, doubling down on calling him a lolly, exposing him, saying he's just using her as an excuse for his own desires. I mean, we all knew that, but she really did him dirty calling him out. So of course, who do we see enter the hospital but the idol sensation herself, Ai, pregnant at 16, and the father is not in the picture. The doctor of course can't deal since he's a fan. I mean, we saw how crazy he was going in the beginning. I'm surprised he was able to keep it together until he was out of the room. The agency's president really asked, how did this happen? Sir, did he never get the talk with 2 people? So she is 20 weeks pregnant with twins. That's always an intense surprise when you think, oh, it's probably just 1 baby, and then bam, it's 2. Or even crazier if you get 3 at a time. Well, the agency president is worried about the agency, as her pregnancy can ruin her image and therefore his agency. Selfish, but that's to be expected in the entertainment industry. It's a shame that this is true. Fans will leave her if they found out she has a partner or even kids, as this happens in the real world as well. But I here knows the power of lies, as that's how she views her whole work as an idol, piling lies on top of lies for the fans since that's what they want, which there's actually a lot of truth to this, but there's even more episodes to unpack first. As we journey through her pregnancy, we see the time pass, then we get the stalker, and of course Godot chases the stalker. What is his plan here? He doesn't look like a fighter. Then of course in all plan, the stalker sneaks up on him and pushes him down. As he fights to get up, he gets a call that Ai is ready to deliver her babies. We zoom out and yup, that boy is going nowhere. So you probably guessed it, with all this talk of reincarnation, he's reincarnated into one of her babies. Super cute, with one eye having the star he got from his mama. But they named him Aquamarine. Even he knows, yikes, that's a terrible name. I'm not referring to Goro as Aqua. We also see the other baby, Ruby, and that's a much better name, and she has the other star for her eye. Ai is clueless as she forgets her baby's names. Ma'am, they look nothing alike, and she can't even remember her manager's name. As she has been out of the idol game for a bit, they discuss a comeback. The manager has a baddie wife who does not want to take care of her kids, but we'll revisit this point. So as Ai gets on set, we see that all the workers are lying, as they are not interested in the performance or the idols. But the moment Ai gets to work, she captivates everyone's heart, especially about Aqua here, who was already a fan, but now he seems grateful for being murdered. A grown man in a baby's body, child of an idol he adored. Well, I guess that's his dream life. As we see, since both Aqua and Ruby have their memories, they can talk, and Ruby gushes over Ai even more than Aqua. The obsessiveness here is pretty hilarious, as she is clapping back at people on the internet. We get another glimpse at the stalker, as his room is exactly what we expect. Messy room, posters, the whole 9 yards. And since he comes up, you know he's coming back later. There's a little sibling rivalry as Aqua decides to go for the bottle, but Ruby goes to the source. Granted, it would be incredibly weird as Aqua is a grown man. Meanwhile, Ruby doesn't care at all. She was also reincarnated, and if it wasn't obvious already, she is Sarina, the doctor's patient that passed at 12 years old. Although neither of them know each other's past identities, only that they both have memories of their previous life. Well, the manager's wife is mad since she's taking care of kids that are not hers. She starts planning to sell out Ai's secret for money, so our intelligent duo here comes up with a fantastic idea. Ruby says, let's kill her. Okay, let's slow our roll. That's not the fantastic idea. They instead act as divine messengers, saying if she takes care of them and keeps their secret, she will remarry a handsome husband one day. And if she doesn't, then she'll perish. Wow, talk about stakes. If some babies that weren't even one yet can give me full sentences like that, believing in a higher power or not, you know I'm listening to those babies, so I can't blame her. Idol work is incredibly hard work and doesn't pay that much, so Ai needs to find more work. She does a little bit of ego surfing, but just crashes into a wave as she reads the negative comments instead and lets her ego get hurt. You can't take it personally, but dang, she wanted an ego boost and just got deflated instead. She's holding a performance, so Aqua and Ruby bamboozle their way into coming. Ma'am, these children need protective earpieces. What is happening? Well, the vibe at the concert is unmatched, so much so that the babies said, we have to keep a low profile and then end up doing this. Say what you want, their movement is clean, look at them go. But they obviously stand out and go viral. But we get one of the sweetest moments of the episode. As Ai's smiles have always been fake, she shows a genuine one once she sees her kids, which is incredibly heartwarming. And that's also what the fans wanted. A win-win really. Well, a year time skip later and now they go to the set for a TV drama and the kids are adored. The director on the other hand just chalks everything up to, this is a sign of the times. You can see he disagrees with it, but he just goes, screw it, whatever. He ends up talking to Aqua and thinks this baby knows a lot of complicated words. Apparently YouTube is the best teacher. Speaking of YouTube, subscribe if you want more content. Well, the director really likes Aqua, even offering him a part. He even gave Aqua his number. Who gives a small child their personal number? That part's questionable. As they're excited to see Ai in the drama, most of her parts were actually cut as the main actress's agency said Ai is too cute and we don't want the competition. Look at them, they're running from the smoke since they know Ai is the real star. Another reality pill this show makes us swallow, showing a lot of the intricacies of entertainment. Thankfully, that number Aqua got earlier comes in handy as he rings the director up personally. Look how bold he is, calling his cell complaining, but this lands him and Ai in a role for a low budget film. Aqua knows how to deal with old people since he used to do it as a doctor, and the secret is to be casual with them. This is very true. A lot of the kids I see the adults like are just casual and funny with the adults, so A+. Here's our first introduction to Kana, a child actress who's pretty good and can cry on command. Too bad she's incredibly annoying and stuck up. Aqua does a good job acting as it's a horror film and he doesn't need to do anything but be himself to be creepy. After all that talk of being professional, Kana throws a tantrum as Aqua did a better job than her, knocking her down a peg immediately since she is way too young to have a head that big. You ain't Beyonce. The director has a lot of faith in Aqua as the director didn't even need to give him any instructions but still knew what was expected of him, making the vision of the director a reality. Thus begins the competition between Aqua and Kana, and who knows if a romance will ensue. Well, no time to ponder as we have another time skip. So Ai is 20 and the kids are around 3. Look how cute they look enrolled in preschool. Aqua does ask about Ruby's past life, but Ruby lies, so we can't ever give Aqua crap about not finding out or trying to find out. Then we have an adorable dance between Ai and Ruby, as Ruby has no confidence in her dancing since she was unable to do it in the hospital in her previous life. Ai then teaches Ruby that being scared of something just makes it happen more. For Ai being clueless as a mother, she really is a great one. As we get some stellar animation of Ruby dancing, and Aqua is all of us right now. Ruby will be a force to reckon with. Acting skills, dancing skills, and her mother's looks, it's over. Ai tries to get in touch with the father, which will prove to be a mistake as we get the comedic moment of Ruby thinking Ai is the Virgin Mary or Jane the Virgin. But I guess she was always too young to have the talk about how it happens. Ai finally manages to book a dome, which is incredibly hard as we get some backstory of how Ai met the manager. She gave him her whole life story in the first meeting. That's intense. Apparently she had a single mother that was arrested and never came to get her once she got out. Childhood drama. But that's probably what the manager was looking for. We get some side information as we learn Ai hasn't told her kids that she loves them since she's afraid it might be a lie. After building her entire career and life on lies, she's afraid everything she feels is a lie. And this is when you need your tissues if you don't have them already. Ai opens the door, which you never do unless you know who it is, and guess who it is? The stalker came back and he stabs her, yelling that she lied to her fans and betrayed them. Sir, that's no reason for murder. Ai isn't even upset. She just holds more love in her heart, saying that's the way she expressed her love to her fans, hoping one day it will come true. Even remembering the name of the person that stabbed her. We even saw earlier that she figured out her children and her manager's name. She says she only remembers those that are special, but she remembered the fan. This hurt in so many ways. She was incredibly wholesome and wonderful, too wonderful for this world. Ai holds Aqua as she bars the door, not letting Ruby in, as we see Ruby is desperately trying to get through the door to see what happened. Aqua, having his doctor knowledge, knew where Ai got stabbed and that it was over. Ai breaks her heart with some incredibly delivered lines, wondering how they would grow up. She was 20 years old. That's so young. She ends with telling them she loves them as you can see the stars fade from her eyes. That right there has to be one of the most beautiful moments ever. Not just the life in her eyes, but the stars, the composition of her eyes fades into nothingness, leaving this image that looks even creepy. We then learn the killer killed themselves as we go to the funeral. Poor Ruby is scrolling social media as people are putting disgusting things on there. Yeah, you'll find all kinds of people on the internet. The manager's wife offers to raise the kids as her own. Finally, some sweetness in this moment of despair. Ruby thinks about being an idol, but Aqua has something else on his mind. He decides that the person that killed him and Ai were the same, but he didn't have the skills to find them. Therefore, it must be someone else that fed him information. So he figures out it must be the father who is in the entertainment business, and he vows to kill him with his own hands. As we saw, there was a little bit of foreshadowing of killing the manager's wife. Now there will actually be some murder. Look at the animation when it happens. Chills. Aqua asks the director to raise him as we skip forward for the last time to see both of them older. The curtain rises as the real show starts now, as that was just the prologue. Just the prologue. Alright, that was a lot. I usually don't like long premieres for new shows since it's a long investment on something you know little about, but this was amazing. And this was just the prologue setting up the main story beautifully. It gave our characters a nice backstory so that we understand their motivations and a piece of how they grew up. We don't get to see how Ai's death affects who they become, but that is part of the intrigue to come back for the next episode. Mystery, sadness, comedic moments. I was generally heartbroken when they stabbed Ai. Not my idol. The reincarnation bits were obvious, and if you did any research, the ending was also not a surprise, but stellar animation combined with an interesting motive for the story and a basis for our characters while still keeping the mystery that they don't realize who the other is yet. This is definitely high up on my list. If you liked the video, leave a like as that helps me out a ton, and dislike if you didn't. Let's chat in the comments what you all thought and subscribe, since the way this show started has me hooked, so you can expect more content on this anime. This was an incredibly long one, so thank you for sticking to the end. I greatly appreciate it and I hope you enjoyed. This has been Anime Disrupt, and Oshi no Ko premiere has officially been disrobed.